Hello gorgeous! In this video I'm going to show you how to get what I like to call the everyday bombshell. It's slightly 90s inspired, but it's perfect for fall and winter months. I'm starting by pouncing on my foundation using a beauty blender sponge. This is going to give me a really nice streak-free finish, and this foundation was a little bit dark for me, so ignore that. I had actually forgotten that my self-tanner had faded away. Oopsies! But if you make a similar mistake, just blend a bit down onto your neck and chest, and then go ahead and start concealing any spots that need a little extra coverage. For me, that's usually around my chin and underneath my eyes. Those areas always need a little extra something for me. Getting ready for the eyes, I'm starting by priming my lids with an eyeshadow primer just to prevent any eye makeup from creasing. I just want to help keep everything locked in place until I decide to wash it off. Before I start on the eyeshadows though, I like to fill in my brows. This really frames up the eye area and lets you know what you're working with. I'm using Anastasia's Dip Brow in Blonde and Chocolate. I even take a little bit of the chocolate color and I dab that over my beauty marks just to make them stand out a bit more, because after I apply foundation it kind of lightens them. I'm starting by patting on an eyeshadow that's much lighter than my skin tone all over my lids, from the lashes all the way up to the brow bone and around the tear ducts. Then I'm taking a soft brown eyeshadow and I'm working that into the hollows of the eyes and also along the lower lash line. Don't be afraid to use a bigger brush along the lower lash line. You'll get a really nice hazy effect that way. The key is just to not use too much product. For extra definition, I'm then picking up a darker brown onto a pencil brush and I'm tracing that along the lower lash line, but I'm kind of dipping it down away from the lash line at the inner corners. By pulling down the inner corners, the outer corners are going to look more lifted. It's going to help give that cat eye shape that you guys know that I love. But back to the Dip Brow in Chocolate. This time I'm using it as an eyeliner. I'm using this very teeny tiny, very necessary brush from Sigma just to create a thin point at the inner corners. These days I like to create the inner and outer wings first and then make sure that they're pretty much the same on each eye before I start connecting everything together. Using a brown eyeliner instead of a black is going to give you a softer look that's less made up, but it's still going to give you that definition and that idea of a fierce cat eye. I ended up wanting the liner to be a little bit darker though, so I took a small shadow brush and dabbed a darker brown eyeshadow over the top of that liner. You might notice that all of the shadows that I'm using are matte. I just really love how matte shadows give a really clean and polished overall look, and it's also kind of very 90s. And of course, lots and lots of black mascara as usual, and some false lashes. These are the Iconics by House of Lashes. They're slightly too big for my eyes, so I had to trim a little bit off of the ends. These are super dramatic, but I love them. I kind of got tired of using all of those really natural looking lashes that I've been wearing for years. Sometimes it's nice to switch things up a little bit. So skipping the lighter concealer under my eyes that I used to use all the time, I decided to try a lighter powder instead for this look. This is Sigma's Ray of Light highlighter. I live for that lighter eyeshadow in there. A little bit underneath the eyes really brightens up the area, and it also helps to contour the sides of the nose. I decided to stick with powders for highlighting and contouring this time, just for an overall matte look. I'm using a matte bronzer along the hollows of my cheeks and around the perimeter of my face. Nothing too crazy, just creating some soft definition, but I did want to intensify the cheekbones just a little extra, so I used a darker contour shade and a skinny flat brush like this to carve a little bit more depth into the hollows of the cheeks. If you don't have a brush like this, you can try just smushing the bristles of a blush brush together, or you can even use like an eyeshadow brush, just something small just to give you a little extra control. And then I finished off the face with a matte mauve blush just to keep things from looking too monochromatic with all the brown that I've been using. And then for the lips, I lined them with a mauve pencil, and I got a little bit carried away for a second, but I guess I didn't care, so oh well. And then I went ahead with this brown gloss from Gerard Cosmetics called Cocoa Bean, and this was actually the inspiration for this entire look. That's the finished look. I hope you all enjoyed this video. I hope you found it helpful, and And as always, I look forward to talking to you again very, very soon. Bye!